Hi guys, and welcome to Publishing Week 34, and we start with the lunchtime kickoff, which is Southampton versus Chelsea at 12:30. Bit of an interesting one, this one actually, because Southampton are fighting for points. Chelsea are struggling as well at the moment. Arsenal are on their tail as well, due to West Ham last week, who are also fighting for points. It is at Southampton tomorrow, so I'm going to give a result to Southampton. I think they're going to get something out of this game, so I'm going to go Southampton 1, Chelsea 1. Now we go to the 3 o'clock kickoffs, and we have Burnley versus Leicester. And again, this could be an interesting fixture. Burnley have been a bit of an up and down team this season, same as Leicester. So again, I think I'm going to go for the same result there as well. Turf Moor's a hard place to go to as well, so I'm going to go Burnley 1, Leicester 1. We then have Swansea versus Everton. Again, Swansea are looking for 3 points at the moment. I thought that Everton. I thought they did okay against the Merseyside derby last week, but obviously Liverpool were the better side. But then again, Everton could have nicked it right at the end, so I suppose they'd be devastated with that. But I suppose going into the game, they would have took a point against Liverpool, so I suppose they would have been, fairly happy. But when you could nick it right at the end, it is very disappointing. And I think that Swansea are going to beat Everton this weekend. They're fighting for points, Swansea. And I think if they can get Everton, it is at home as well. So I think if they could get Everton, they could find themselves getting a result here. So I'm going to go Swansea 2, Everton 1. We then have Crystal Palace versus Brighton. Again, Crystal Palace fighting for points. Brighton's not going to make it easy for them. It is at Selhurst Park. So I'm going to go Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1. We then have Huddersfield versus Watford. Again, two teams that have been up and down this season. Huddersfield started off great, and Watford started off really, really poor. Watford started to pick up a couple of results. And Huddersfield seemed to have dipped in form. But it is at Huddersfield, so I'm going to get Huddersfield to nick it this weekend. I'm going to go Huddersfield 2, Watford 1. We then have Liverpool versus Bournemouth at 5:30. As I say, Liverpool are through to the Champions League semi-final, which I'm presuming they're going to be happy about that. Again, they didn't play their best against Everton last week. They were the better side, but they didn't play their best. To tell the truth, it wasn't exactly the best Merseyside derby that I've seen in my time. But and Bournemouth can be a funny side as well. It is at Anfield. They've had some crazy results over the years with Bournemouth. At Bournemouth, but it's at Anfield. And as I say, Liverpool. It was hard to predict this one because Liverpool's just played against Manchester City. So they could be tired, or they could be running on adrenaline. That they've just got through to the semi-finals. It is at Anfield, so I am going to go to Liverpool to win it, and quite comfortably as well, actually, due to the fact that I think they're going to be high on adrenaline. So I'm going to go Liverpool 2, Bournemouth 0. And then at 7:45, we have Tottenham versus Manchester City. That's going to be a really, really good game to watch. Manchester City can win the title this weekend. They could have won it last week. I don't know what the hell happened in the second half. At half time we're all like, the game's done, and this game's going to be boring in the second half. Because it's just like men against boys. And then the second half it was a completely different animal for Manchester United. Fair play to them as well. For changing the tactics and getting a result. And not only getting a result, they got 3 points, and Manchester City as well. So I think that Manchester City will be cautious with that with Spurs this weekend. But I do think they'll want to finish it off this weekend. So I'm going to go Tottenham 1, Manchester City 2. We now go to the Sunday kickoffs at 1:30. We have Newcastle versus Arsenal. Again, Newcastle looking for points at the moment to get themselves out of trouble. Arsenal are also into the semi-finals of the Europa League. Made life quite hard for ourselves yesterday. But I still think that we're going to have too much for Newcastle, even though it is at Newcastle. I'm going to go Newcastle 0, Arsenal 2. At 4 o'clock, we have Manchester United versus West Brom. Just spoke about Manchester United, how they changed the tactics in the second half. Obviously, West Bromwich Albion are going to be nowhere near that on the weekend. It is at Old Trafford. And West Bromwich Albion are more or less relegated. In fact, I think they could be relegated this weekend if they lose to Manchester United. And I'm going to go Manchester United 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. That's the 4 o'clock kickoff for Sunday. And then at 8 o'clock on Monday, we have West Ham versus Stoke. Again, two teams that are in need of 3 points to keep themselves alive in the Premier League. So I'm going to go for a tough, tight draw in this game. I'm going to go West Ham 1, Stoke 1. So that has been my predictions for this weekend, guys, and I will see you Tuesday, because there's a couple of games on Tuesday, a couple of games Wednesday, and then the rest of them are on Saturday, so I'll just finish them off on Tuesday. So we'll just do the whole prediction video on Tuesday. Thank you for watching, guys.